everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's your girl Adina, and I'm back with the 12th edition from the second season of the Liberated Pussy podcast. You know how we do this? Monique and I, we chat about stuff that is relevant to us in the here and now. Hey, Judy, I see you. Hello, Sunshine, I see you. And we have really good conversations about really moving ourselves forward on our square, in our power, in our goddessness. What does that mean? We have a yummy, juicy conversation today for this 12th edition of the Liberated Pussy podcast. I see all my babies. Hey, Cheryl, what's up, hon? Ain't seen you since we were in LA that time. Come on, Monique. I see everybody but Monique. Where's Mo? She's coming. She's coming. Hey, Erica. Hey, girl. Hey. I love this. Right out the gate. You guys, my boos, my hearts, my loves are here with me. So we are having, here's Monique. Here she is. Come on in. Oh, that's Judy. Okay. Right now we have, there she is. Okay. We have a really yummy conversation. Hump day appropriate conversation. Hey, boo. Hump day appropriate conversation. Hey, lady. Hey. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, my love. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Happy May Day. It's the first day of May.
Oh, it is the first day of May. Yes.
We just started a new moon cycle. Yeah.
We did. We started a new moon cycle today. Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to get my hair done, so I have on a headscarf.
She got on her headscarf. She channeling mama and them with that scarf on today. Hello. Oh, Sunshine said May is masturbation month. Perfect. Yes.
That is hilarious. Mama
get that loving in.
So funny. Yes. Exactly.
Yes, mama and them for sure. So I know mama and them don't know we're going to be talking about masturbation and loving and all that kind of stuff, the proper way to use it. But mama and them wish they knew. Wish they knew what we know now.
What we know now. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. So my introduction, everyone, if this is your first time joining, welcome. I am your sister. I am Adina Gittens-Smith, the goddess of magical movement, y'all. I am the co-founder of Belly Dancers of Color Collective, and I'm also the founder of Goddess Technology, where I have the pleasure, the supreme opportunity of teaching a master's level course here at Follow the Sun about real education, not that crap you learned in school and forgot all about. I'm not talking about reading and writing and that kind of stuff. I'm talking about accessing your power, goddess, knowing who you are in this life and finding those internally sources, places of happiness and yumminess and joy, knowing yourself as God, goddess. So again, I am the goddess of magical movement. I'm available for coaching, and we have a community where we, Monique and I, and other goddesses, Gabrielle, we initiate goddesses home to themselves. It is the greatest work of my life. Ashe.
Ashe. Yay, Adina.
Yay.
That's so great. And what you do it very well. So thank you for that.
Thank you, my love.
So I am Monique, also known as the Moon Mama. I am the founder and co-facilitator over at Follow the Sun, where we have a community designed to assist the feminine in healing and remembering her magic, like remembering what you really are capable of and up to. And we, in this space at Follow the Sun, we create classes and courses, one of them being the Goddess Gathering, where we do the work to remember, where we do the work to activate, where we do the work to restore ourselves to our original plan, who we are truly meant to be. I also am a coach. I love coaching. I coach men and women and assisting them in getting their power back. And I love my life. And so I'm happy to be here with Adina today doing the Pussy Podcast. Something that I also do.
Yay! The Pussy Podcast is amazing. I totally love it. I was speaking to somebody about the Pussy Podcast yesterday. They were like, y'all gonna talk about pussy? I'm like, actually, if you tune in this week, we will,
we will be talking about it. That's right.
It's so beyond the customary understanding of what pussy is.
Yes.
You know, we're speaking of
Yes.
pussy as owning ourselves. And yeah, that's a part, it's just a part of us. But they want to
Yes.
know, y'all gonna talk about pussy? And the answer is yes. So
Yes.
before
Yes.
we get into this yummy conversation that everyone wants to know, let's talk about the astrology. And like I said, we just began a new moon cycle. If you guys
Oh,
don't
yes.
know the moon cycles and understand the power of that, Monique facilitates 13 moons with our beautiful sister Gabrielle. Been doing it for years, and I'm
Yes.
telling you, it's amazing to utilize the moon to create in 28 days. It's
Girl,
delicious. So
let me
get up in
tell you.
here.
Oh, thank you so much. First of all, one of the things that's happening in the community right now, just really briefly, is people are starting to remember who they are. We've been working it so long that I'm beginning to see people be transformed. Like they were struggling with all this for months and years, and
Mm-hmm.
now it's just collapsing. And I literally am like this. Because to watch people come to themselves, there's
Yes.
nothing like
It's
it.
so
There's nothing like it. So
beautiful.
it is
It's like
so
watching a
beautiful.
baby being born. It's like that. It's like
Yes.
1 minute they weren't here. I mean, they were here, but they
Yeah.
weren't here. And it's
Yeah.
another minute when they actually emerge. It's beautiful.
Yes.
It's
It
absolute
is
perfection.
beautiful. So the astrology. So there are a couple of things going on astrologically. The sun has moved into Taurus. It's been here for about a week now, and we are in the window of the new moon in Taurus. So Taurus governs possessions. It governs money. It governs value. It governs wealth. It also governs your sensory system, how you feel about yourself. So this is the energy that we're working with this month. We have Pluto goes retrograde tomorrow. Today is the final day of no planets in retrograde because Pluto goes retrograde tomorrow for an entire like 6 months until like October 11th, right? Like, right. But this is so powerful because it's this opportunity for us to do the work that needs to be done for us to really get true to ourselves, to come into your authenticity. And, Adina, you know how this work is. We've been practicing this shit for years. None of this is a quick fix.
Mm-mm.
It is
Mm-mm. It's not
a process
microwavable,
of,
y'all.
say that
It's
again?
a pot on. I said it's not microwavable. It's a
No.
pot on the stove that got to boil, and you got to stir it. You got to add seasonings, and once you think it's right, you still got to fix it a little bit. It's that
That's
kind of thing.
that's right. That's right. And you'll always be making some adjustments. And so this energy is we're moving into a new age. Like so this next 6 months is the final time that Pluto will go back into Capricorn. So we have 6 months to really commit ourselves, to our own purpose, to the divine mission within our soul, to the energy that is calling us to share with the planet. And all you need to do is be sincere. All you need to do, you don't have to know how. I think people are like, well, I don't know how. You don't have to know how. That's not what I said. But what you do have to do is you have to be sincere in your desire to fulfill your potential and your power. You have to be sincere,
Sure.
and your sincerity will get you there. So the astrology is, with Pluto turning retrograde, Mercury coming out of its retrograde window, Mars just went into Aries yesterday. It is go time. I like to say, you know how if you go to a play, I used to go to a lot of plays as a child, and everybody's sitting and moving around, and then the lights go
They
down, and then the
get
curtain is
quiet.
right,
They get quiet.
right.
Like,
That
ooh, it's that
is
time.
where we are. That is where we
Okay.
are. Like literally, the stage is about to rise, and
Mm-hmm.
we're about to be in a whole new reality. And I hope that you have prepared yourself for your new character.
Ashe.
Asha.
That's all we've been doing is
That's
preparing
right.
ourselves. Thank you for that. That
You're
sounds
welcome.
amazing. I actually, as a theater kid too, love that moment when the theater quiets and the people who are finding their seats, they sit down and everybody is focused on the stage and it's
Yeah.
about to open. That's again another magical
Isn't
moment.
it?
So
The
magical.
magic girl.
Yes. Yeah, I have chills thinking about it. And no matter whether I'm on the stage, because sometimes I'm on the other side of the curtain
Yes,
getting
yes,
ready to perform, it's
yes,
magical. And then
yes,
sometimes I'm in the audience getting ready to receive,
yes,
and that is equally as magical. And that's where
yes,
we are in our lives in the planet right now. We're
yes.
at that, ooh, sit your ass down, let's go.
And
It's
then the
time.
orchestra goes,
Uh,
ta-da, and the
uh-huh.
music starts, and then
Yeah, it
we're starting
starts nice and slow. It's a nice, it don't it
over.
don't jar you right out the gate. It's
Right,
just like
yes,
damn, and then
yes.
go. Yes, it's
That
beautiful.
is the moment where we are.
That's a beautiful analogy. I love that
Yes,
analogy. I'm happy to be there. I'm
yes,
happy to be there. And we're on stage. So think of this as being on stage of your life and your spiritual development,
yes,
getting ready to perform, getting ready for your big moment.
yes,
This is the time for that.
yes,
Yes. So
yes,
that perfectly frames our conversation. We wanted to talk about the true uses and meanings of sex. Okay.
yes,
We want to talk
yes,
about that today. We feel like, not we feel, we know because we've been on this planet 50 plus years, our own selves, in this experience, having been enculturated and indoctrinated with different views about our bodies and sexuality and men and women and whether it's not even sacred, whether it's good or bad to do, all
right,
kinds of things and stories have been junking up our experience with our actual magic, our
yes,
actual freaking
yes,
magic of this moment,
yes,
this opening.
yes,
So this was a topic Monique broached, and I was like, yeah, that's young malicious. Let's go. So
yes,
let's talk about understanding the power of sex, and let's just have a conversation.
yes,
Y'all are in the living room with us.
yes, yes, yes. It's such an interesting thing because, like, I have done a lot of work to claim my sexuality back from shame, from the misuse, manipulation through Christianity, feeling like you need to be a virgin, like all these narratives that I was given around sex and how to use it. I have had to spend the last 5 or 6 years going through my own system to re-navigate those experiences, to reorient them, to reclaim them, to claim my body back, and to claim my sexuality back, to understand that my body is mine. And when I was growing up, I really thought that sex was about pleasing a man. That's what I thought. I was like, I thought that, first of all, I thought sex was a sin outside of marriage. And then I thought that sex was about pleasing a man and 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 getting him to love you. That's what I thought. Sex was about
Mm-hmm.
pleasing a man, getting him to love you, having him want to marry you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought sex was. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and so um I was really young when I started having sex. I was very young when I was exposed to sex in my family.
Mm-hmm.
The conversation, like having a prostitute as a mother who worked as a prostitute, a father who worked as a pimp, right? That exposed me to sexuality very young, and my sexual nature got hijacked. Like I literally became con- conscious of sex at 3 and 4 through masturbation, which I don't think is unusual. Some, but I do know that it wasn't something that I found naturally. It was something that I was exposed to.
Okay.
And I wasn't exposed to it because anybody was touching me. I was exposed to it because I was in the environments where my parents were doing things that were sexual without, and thinking that I didn't get it. They were
Mm-hmm.
thinking because I was an infant that I didn't feel it,
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't understand, that I didn't, but I felt like I would feel my mother's orgasms.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel them when
Mm-hmm.
she would be, ah, I was right in, because I was in the bed with them.
You're right in the middle of oh God. Without
So,
proper context. I get it. I
right,
get it.
right.
You know.
And so it was, because I'm really sensitive. my
Mm-hmm.
mother's circuitry and my parents' sexuality blew my own circuitry out, is
It
what it
makes
did.
sense. I mean, you are of them,
That's
so
right.
of course you're gonna feel them.
That's right.
I mean, of course, and
That's
you're the
right.
most sensitive as a child. So be mindful of this, parents with children. I know I had sex in the bed when my babies were little.
Yeah.
In context, so just be mindful of it. Just be mindful
That's
that
right.
the energy that is happening is everyone's experience. Everyone is a part of that experience. Whether it and it wasn't even abuse,
That's
it
right.
just was
That's
part of the
right.
experience.
That's
Yeah.
right. And everyone is a part of the experience. And then, understanding that, and because I think that there are other countries where people all sleep together, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But it's just important for us to understand what we're participating in. That's
And
all.
I did that. I did the
Yeah.
family bed with all
Yeah.
three of my sons. They all slept
Yes.
with me for 2 years,
Yes.
So and that's a concept. It's a whole nother thing to that. So I get what you're saying.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Hmm.
So that turned me on sexually really early.
Hmm.
And so I took that on myself. So by the time I was 3 and 4 and 5, I was masturbating. And by the time I was, out with other kids in the neighborhood, literally, you know what I mean? 7, 8, 9, kissing, touching,
So you were
digging,
the
feeling.
kid teaching everybody else
Well,
about it. Like, girl, if you
everybody,
do
okay,
this,
I guess everybody's parents were having sex with them because everybody knew it, right? We were all in it
okay.
together. I wasn't really, on some level, but we were all in it together. Boys, girls, like it was a
Hmm.
lot, right? Like
Hmm. Hmm.
a lot of that going on, and we weren't watched a lot, so there was a lot of freedom, and
Yeah.
so there was a lot of sexual exploration really young. So by the time I was 13, then I started having penetrating sex.
Hmm.
Um, and at some point, so sex had been a part of my life for so long. At some point when I got to college and I had a boyfriend and we broke up, and then I had a boyfriend who knew him, like it just, like I kind of started running through a circle of
Hmm.
men, right?
Hmm.
And then at some point one of the men came to me who I've never, it just dawned on me, like he came to me and I thought, and I heard myself say, they're talking about me, they're sharing information about me. And now and then I was like, okay, that's it, that was it, I turned it off.
Hmm.
um but no one really had a real conversation with me about the power of sexuality, the power of the
Hmm.
feminine.
Right.
Um, that no one really taught me how my sexuality worked. When is a yes, and when is a no still turning into a yeah? What am I doing? Like it's almost like it just consumed me, and I just got dragged by it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it has taken some real devotion to claim it back.
Ashe. Ashe. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that very intimate story. When I think about sex and what was told to me as a child, pretty much it was don't do it,
Hmm.
like, or wait till you get into college, which I thought was kind of late too. Like, I'm gonna be in college and everybody gonna know what's going on, and I'm gonna be like Bambi, just fresh out, like. But
Yeah.
that's what was told to me. Just wait. It wasn't from a sense of you are powerful and sex has you know, magic or any, because I'm sure they weren't coming from that
Hmm.
perspective either. It was more so victimized. Don't be like, you can get pregnant from that aspect. You
Yeah.
could catch something and then you don't want to be the loose girl. All of those things were the things, the stories around sex that was the conditioning for me personally.
Hmm.
And I felt like I felt like some of it that came from my grandmother was very strong because her upbringing was, what was that, sanctified? Do you remember those sanctified people
Yeah,
in Mississippi?
that's
The
right.
very staunch religious and that kind of thing. And so some of the things she said were very harsh about sex and sexuality and how people are seen. And as a child, I honestly didn't believe it.
Hmm.
I didn't believe, and I loved her enough not to say that because you couldn't
Hmm.
say that, but I didn't believe that I would not be pure, I would be dirty or any of those kinds of things. I just didn't believe that.
Hmm.
Like, I remember us having a conversation and she was like, well, what are you going to have to offer your husband if you out here having sex, when you were a kid? And I'm like, what are you going to have to offer me? I mean, really? I mean, that's what we're talking about? Like, is it
Right.
just my vagina is all I had to offer? Like, I just thought that wasn't the question to ask, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
But, you know, I couldn't have that conversation from the standpoint of it being disrespectful and talking back to Black adults, you know, your stuff you just
Yes.
don't do. You don't do.
Yes.
But
That's
I
fantastic.
knew, like you said, you knew some things deeply. I knew that there was magic there and I knew it was sacredness there,
Mhm.
but I didn't know how to get to it or how to make it so, you
Yes.
know. I remember as an adult talking to my grandmother, and she was an elder at this point, and we could talk about anything then. And one of her friends had gotten married, and the friend was old, like maybe in her 80s or
Mhm.
something.
Mhm.
And she was joking about her. She said the lady is praying over the bed and sprinkling holy water. I said, Mima, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
She was like, you think that's beautiful? I said, I really do. Like, she is making
Mhm.
it sacred. And I don't see the joke in that. And so she was like, her only comment to me was like, huh. I think it's beautiful
Yes.
that you make it sacred. I think it's beautiful that you enter it with
Yes.
intention. That's a
That,
beautiful thing, to have two
yes.
partners that come to it intentionally and
Yes.
decide to use this creative force to some collective and individual good rather
Yes.
than feeling shame, because the shame is where all the sickness comes from. The shame is what makes you it makes you, it tears you down.
Yes.
Shame cripples you, you
Yes.
know, and I felt that too. I felt that too.
Yeah, that's really powerful. That is dope. That is really
Mm-hmm.
dope. So it's one of the things that I feel that has been interesting in our culture. Let me start this. Were you finished? Were you finished talking about your?
Yeah, we're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. No, because I just because you're talking about the shame piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I used to experience when I was a much younger woman was being in the company with men and hearing in my brain, I would be thinking, is he talking to me or is he talking to my pussy?
Oh,
Right?
he was talking to your pussy if you thinking that.
Right. Because it was an interesting thing though. It was like I could always feel that this is what occurred to me, that men are interested in sex. That was the
Mm-hmm.
thing. And what I was always curious about was, are they interested in me or are they interested in getting sex from me?
Right, right. And that's two different things,
Yes.
or it could be both. You
Right.
know, I thought that, like you said, sex was just for the man. I
Yes.
remember finding, well, I was using a textbook from a family member, and it just happened to be the same subject I was studying, and I opened it
Yeah.
up, and it was a note. She had written a note to her husband in this textbook, I don't know, 15 years before I
Mhm.
opened this book.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
apparently their relationship was breaking up at the time. And she wrote on the note, like, if I can't get fucked at least once a week, what's the point of being married? And what occurred to me was like, damn, women, you do it more than once, like you do it once a week. I mean, it seemed like a lot. I thought it was something you did, like you had a special occasion. It was a
Yeah.
birthday, you know. It wasn't
Yeah.
something that was like eating that you needed it regular.
Yes.
So for me, the paradigm shift was the frequency, and
Yes.
that women wanted too. Like, wow, until my desire came online. Although it was there, and I was suppressing that
Yes.
because it was there.
Yeah.
And I thought that part of me was weird, so I wouldn't really let it live. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I
Yes.
wouldn't let it live. But when I read that note, like once, oh, you got to do it once a week. Like, wow, that's a lot.
Yes.
So, and she was mad. That was the tone of the note. She was pissed because he was out there giving it to somebody else, and I can't get it once a week. What is the point? I was like,
That
wow.
is so funny. That is so
Mm-hmm.
funny. That's
Isn't that
really,
funny?
yes. I used to have a auntie that I lived with who was, like 6 years older than me, and I used to count her birth control. I used to count to see when she was having sex because she
Oh,
had like
okay.
she would use something like a condom, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I would count them every day to see.
Nosy little niece, all up in
I
my
was
shit. Get out my drawers. Like you got 3 condoms left. You out there fucking last night. It was 5 in here
like when
yesterday.
she was not home, I would count her birth control
That's
because
hilarious.
I wanted to know, like, oh, she was out having sex. Then I would be looking at her when she came in the house.
Mm-hmm. Like, see, trying to see if she looked different. Did she look different? That is hilarious.
And the thing that was interesting is that I was jealous because she was like my big sister. And it
Hmm.
was like, she's out there doing something with these men and they're taking her away from me.
From me, yeah, I can't be with her because she out there getting dick. Ridiculous. Let her live.
Oh, ridiculous is you don't even understand. I mean, I understand now, right? I was really, really curious. Yes. So,
Oh God.
she said I did that to my older sister. And yes, it's like we learn from them. We learn from them. That is
I
so
was the big
hilarious.
sister, so now I know. I didn't have that experience.
You
That
were
is too funny.
yes. Oh
Hmm.
my gosh. So, the magic of sex, like what sex really is, what
Right.
sex really is, and how can
I'm
we
grateful. I'm
practice that?
grateful to know now that sex, the two main purposes of sex, number one is healing. I'm so grateful to know that now.
Yes.
Healing. And then number two, manifestation. It could be children, but it doesn't have to be. You know, I've already done children, so I'm not trying to make children right now.
Yes.
The children I'm making now are my businesses and bringing my ideas to life and using the creativity and that energy to literally regenerate my body and keep my
Yes.
youth and vitality and flexibility and all of that. But to know that is
Yes.
liberating.
Yes.
It's a gift. And when you poison the waters of the
Mhm.
gift, you know, we really destroy ourselves when we don't understand that that's what sex is for, you
Mhm.
know.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It is it's we live in a culture that has really perverted the most sacred experiences
Yes.
and has perverted them for reasons so that we don't
Hmm.
have access to the energy in the way
Right.
that it is
And the
meant.
power.
That's right. We don't have access to the subtle current that is moving through our system, which is life force.
Hmm.
Sexuality is life force, is what it is. And it's
Hmm.
happening everywhere. You're watching bees drink the nectar from flowers. That
I'm
is
so glad
sex.
you said that.
Yes.
I'm so glad you said that because I had, okay,
Mhm.
so this is TMI, but
Yeah.
the last lovemaking I had, I envisioned myself a flower. And then I thought, does the flower enjoy
Mhm.
the hummingbird extracting the
Wow.
nectar? I imagined that it
That's
did, and it just got that much more amazing. I
yeah.
am the flower, and the flower is enjoying this. Isn't
Yes.
that amazing?
That is amazing. I can feel all of that.
Yes,
Yes, absolutely. The flower
yes.
is enjoying giving its nectar to the bee, which is
Mhm.
then the bee is going to take back to the hive to make honey.
To
And
make
then we
honey,
eat that honey. We eat that honey,
pollinate.
right?
Yes,
Exactly.
it's love. It's all love.
Right. And it's so
Hmm.
interesting. Speaking of honey, a few days ago, the corner of my eye was itching, and it was really itching to the point that it was like, don't scratch it. Don't scratch
Hmm.
it. Like I could feel like it was like almost an allergy happening.
Hmm.
And I sat down and I asked Spirit, I was like, what to do with this? And
Hmm.
Spirit told me to put honey in it.
Yes, honey is everything.
And I put honey in my eye.
Hmm.
And when I tell you within a couple of hours, that allergy was gone.
Nice.
From
Everything is already here for
That's
us.
right. From
Hmm.
bee orgasm. That's what that is. It's
Nice.
from flower orgasm.
Nice. It's what's be is become, right?
That's right. Right. It is become. That's right. And I just love that. And so when we understand our sexuality and how it really does function, and like you said, to heal the body, like
Hmm.
using your sexuality to heal the body
Hmm.
is so exciting. It's like
Yes.
and understanding that it's energy that you can manipulate. And like one of the things that I had to really do, because I've shared this a lot before, but because my mother was a prostitute while she was pregnant with me, I always felt like I had entities connected to my body. It was a very
Mm.
interesting energy. Like I had always had it, so I just know that there was something leeching energy from me. I could not explain it, but I was
Hmm.
like, this is so interesting. And I, for years, all my life, and then in the last few years, I started really engaging that. and doing yoni egg work and talking to my yoni in my womb and doing yoni steams. And one day I literally felt an entity leave my womb. I felt it.
Wow. You gotta move. Can't live
You
here.
can't live because I lifted my frequency, because I
Mm-hmm.
raised my frequency
Mm-hmm.
into one of love and acceptance and healing and wholeness, and started using my sexuality for pleasure and not to perform, not to get love, not to, make somebody, not to bend somebody's will towards my desire, using it for actually what it's for, to heal. And then I actually had this experience. It was really profound. It
That
was
sounds
really profound.
amazing.
Mhm.
And you expelled something you were done. It served its purpose. It
Yes,
was done. It
that's
couldn't
right.
go where you're going now.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a few folks on here with us. I'm curious if folks are using sex in this way. Are you using sex to heal? Are you putting intention into your sex? So if folks have things they want to share, I'm interested to hear that. The power of the most sacred bond and how to use it with your beloved. And if you're with someone, if you're laying with someone, they are your beloved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have to approach it
Yes,
that way,
that's
because
right.
if we don't, then it becomes poison.
That's
So
right.
if you have chosen to lay with someone and to share your most sacred essence with them, they are your beloved.
Mm-hmm.
And so just be loving, like just be loving.
That's right. And it really matters also for women, because when we take someone's essence into our system, and people think, like, oh, well, they had a condom on. It doesn't matter if they had a condom. When somebody puts their body in your body, okay?
Yes, yes.
When somebody puts their body in your body, and you really create a
A
contract. And so,
bond.
a
Yeah,
bond, that's right. And so it's very important for you to honor what that is, so that you can use it and so that it doesn't work against you.
right.
And so if you have shame, if you have guilt, if you're doing things, like, here's the thing. Because we have created narratives that we get to own other people's sex organs,
Hmm.
because oh, if somebody's my wife or somebody's my husband, I
Or
own them,
boyfriend and
right?
girlfriend. I
Go
mean, they even
boyfriend
do
and
that in
girlfriend.
boyfriend.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. When we do that, we create these traps. That's right.
parasites and traps.
That's right.
Hmm.
We create these traps, and your energy gets it when your energy moves into obligation.
I can't do it. I cannot.
That's right. When your energy moves into obligation, your magic will turn against you, and you will create illness in your body.
Obligatory on that level literally makes me
That's right.
sick. Like I will throw up. Like who wants to have sex and somebody's literally vomiting? Like I cannot.
Yes.
I personally
Yes.
cannot. That's how my system is worked. But think about if you have to throw up and you don't, and you just push it down, you just hold it.
Hmm.
So those are the things that become the fibroids and the tumors and the cancers and all those kinds of things.
That's
We
right.
are literally swallowing back stuff that needs to be released. Like Monique talked about releasing it. You talked about releasing it from your
Hmm.
yoni.
Hmm.
But folks aren't releasing these entities from their yonis, and then they're putting more on and sealing it in with shame, not
Yes.
owning our desire, feeling a way about our desire. It's powerful for a reason. This is how we keep people on the planet.
Yeah.
Yes. What did they say?
I
I see a big comment
moved
right
back to
there.
Chicago because of what I received when I had an orgasm after an intentional prayer and masturbation. When I reached my orgasm, I saw a cousin that I hadn't seen in 15 years. Wow. So she went into a trance state,
Hmm.
basically, and tapped into another dimension
Beautiful.
that called her back. That
That's what
is
it's for.
that's right.
Yes,
That's right.
that's what it's for. Use this to time travel, y'all. Time travel to another.
Yes,
Let's jump dimensions.
that's
Let's
right.
jump. Let's jump out
Yep,
of this shit.
that's
Like ain't
right.
nobody worried about the election and all.
That's
Let's
right.
jump.
That's right. And you can hold a vision for the reality you want to see. Because this
Hmm.
is the thing, sex is energy. It's just an electrical charge that has a lot of life force power behind it. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to see yourself in a new experience, you hold the vision of yourself like in a new home or in a new career path or in a healthier body or in a more loving relationship with yourself and others. You hold that vision and that feeling, and then you begin to move your system in that energy. And when you reach climax, you really pull that energy into that feeling, into that vision, and you begin to build the power of a new reality. You know, we can do this every day. Like if we did 30 days of sexual orgasm
Mm-hmm.
and pleasure, of seeing yourself, the world that you want to see, and giving that orgasmic energy to that dimension and that reality, and that dimension and reality will have to become manifest. It has
Ashe.
to.
What's so important, what I hear you saying, is the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we talk about sex too, and we talk about shame, many folks have shame about their sound, how they look, smells and things like that. Out, just your natural
Mm-hmm.
sense. And really to get in the magic, into the magic that we're talking about, you have to be in deep acceptance of yourself and deep acceptance
Yeah.
and love of your partner. You have to be in a space where you allow your emotions to be a part of your
Yeah.
magic. Because if you're just laying there like a rock, you're still missing it. You haven't
Yes.
brought all of you to this beautiful act, this
Yeah.
beautiful divine prayer that you're doing with the beloved.
Yeah.
So the emotion, the sound, all of those things are sacred. You have to we are giving ourselves permission to be that comfortable with ourselves first and with our
Yeah.
partners in order to access the magic and the power. This is what it's for. This is
Yeah.
what it's for.
Yes, absolutely. And it's such an interesting thing. You know, I have been practicing abstinence for about, almost a year now. And it has been so beautiful to be in this experience of loving myself and loving the way I look, loving the way I feel, like really getting into the pleasure of my own system. So that should I and when I choose to be with another, I know that I am the temple of God, and this person gets to be in the experience of the temple of God, and I with that temple of God. But I also know that this is God in form. This person that
Ashe.
I'm with is God made manifest in a physical body.
Yep.
So it
God got
don't
us.
matter if they paid the rent. It don't matter if they, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter because this is God in physical form. I'm going to let my ego drop because the ego is connected to these human stories and human experiences which trap us in separation
Yes.
from the whole, from the oneness, right? So if there's one thing that sex is, it is an experience of oneness.
Ashe. I got a rattle on that. Ashe, divine oneness.
That's right.
So as you talk about abstinence, I have not been abstinent.
Yes, yes.
I have been enjoying the magic of these beautiful experiences, but from a very conscious place of connecting with my magic and love and deep love. I
Yes.
love when everything is done and all I can do is cry. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yes.
everything is like that is the crygasm is everything
Yeah.
because I know just and I can't even explain why. It's like deep healing is happening at this moment. Just all is well in this moment. Love, 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 love in
Yes.
this moment and
Yes.
beyond. I send it
Yes.
forward, I send it back, I send it out.
Yes.
It's just a beautiful thing to understand that when you're in sacred space with your beloved, just love. Just love.
Yes. That
Yes.
is that is really beautiful. Bruja Bruita, I don't know how she says. She says she's also abstinent right now. Yeah, it all serves, right? It's
Mm-hmm. Ashe.
to be abstinent is to be deeply in the feminine. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like
And you can still be orgasmic, just because you're
yes.
abstinent doesn't mean that you're not experiencing this, what we're talking about, this energy.
That I mean, the energy of sex is everything. Sex is
Yes.
two opposites coming together to make a
Yes.
difference. That's what sex is. Sex is not just a penis and a vagina. Sex is a bee and the flower.
Mm-hmm.
Sex is the tree and the earth.
So
Sex is you breathe.
when you plug in your cell phone, you could be like, ooh,
Yeah, you know what I mean?
plug
Sex
in a
is
socket.
breathing. when you
Mm-hmm.
breathe, two opposite forms
Are
coming
coming together.
together. The
Ashe.
invisible form coming into the physical form. That is an act. When you breathe in, that's like taking in air is like taking in a penis,
Ashe. Take it
right?
in. And if you think of it like that, it's natural.
That's
You're
right.
supposed to
It is
have
the
this.
most natural thing
Mm-hmm.
ever,
Mm-hmm.
or for people who
Yeah.
are in same sex relationship, the it's
The
the
masculine
infinity,
and
the
feminine
masculine and
polarity.
feminine. That's it. It is a constant. You cannot escape it. My man said we can't fuck. I'm making love. That is so
Ashe.
good.
Ashe.
Yes,
But even fucking is don't put no judgment on
that's right.
fucking. Fucking is divine too.
That's right.
Fucking, love making,
That's right.
dreaming about it. It's all masturbation. It's all divine. When you touch your sacred seat, divinity is in your hands.
That's right. Divinity is all in every part of you, right?
Ashe.
So you are
Yes.
always, you are
Hmm.
the vessel for which the divine is having its experience. You are the
Yes.
point of focus in which the universal presence is
Hmm.
moving
Through
through
you.
you. And
Yes.
so that is the thing to understand.
The divine
Practicing
expression.
abstinence too. But when I practice self-pleasure, I imagine my masculine energy making love to my feminine. It is self-love at the highest.
That's
Ashe,
beautiful.
goddess. That
That's
is right.
beautiful. I love
That is right.
that.
That is absolutely
Yeah.
right.
That's a lovely yantra to see your own. Erica says something about that too. What did she say?
Mm,
I'm abstinent and I call my divine masculine when I masturbate. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
yes,
So all of this is bringing it into fruition.
that's right.
Beautiful,
That's right.
beautiful.
That our pleasure is the greatest way to bring on our manifestations, our creations. I like to
Hmm.
our creation, demonstration, manifestation. Our pleasure is the
Hmm.
greatest way to do that. And the thing that I have learned that I did not know that is almost it's hard to even begin to really conceptualize it is that everything comes from the body.
Hmm.
Everything comes. That's why movement and taking care of your body and loving yourself is so important because we literally have everything within us.
Hmm.
And we don't think that because this world looks so externalized, but everything is an internal thing. That's why babies come out of our bodies,
Hmm.
but our businesses come out of our bodies, our friendships come out of our
Hmm.
bodies, our everything we do comes out of the body. And so your relationship with your body is the key to
To
everything, to absolutely everything.
everything. You got to take care of her. You got to
Right?
take care of her and him,
Massage your
giving her.
breast,
Hmm.
massage your
Hmm.
belly,
Hmm.
massage your yoni, massage your
Hmm.
thighs,
Hmm.
twirl your hips,
Hey,
shake your booty because
hey,
all of it is
hey,
coming from
hey,
within you,
hey.
right?
Yes,
It's all from
yes.
inside. It really
It
is.
feels so good. It
And
feels so
it
good.
does. And it does.
Hmm. So everyone, love on yourself
Yes.
today. Take some time to love on yourself with a loved one or with
Yes.
yourself, both and
That's
knowing that
right.
they're both sacred, both important. And if you're finding incidents of shame and things like that, get curious about that so
Mhm.
you can start releasing that. We're in a new moon cycle, so clearing will be coming around again. And these are things to release because we too goddess for that bull.
That's
We too
right.
goddess to not be using our superpowers for us, not letting that
That's
shit
right.
work against us. So
Ashe,
I'm
ashe.
here. Ashe, I hope,
So
I meant.
we invite you to join Goddess Gathering where we do the
Yes.
rituals and the practices and we really come into understanding how we are the goddess and what that means to be
Hmm.
walking this planet right
Ashe.
now at the darkest time that there
As
could
an
like
actual whole goddess, an
we are a
actual one,
whole goddess while the
a
earth
whole
is
ass
going through the
goddess.
dark ages and we are here to usher in the light.
Ashe, we bringing it. Join
That's what it's
us. If
for.
this is resonant with you,
Yes,
join us.
that's
Okay.
right. That's
We're
right.
going to Bali too. So if you're
Yes,
interested with that, someone hit me up in the DMs. Hit me up.
yes.
Come to Bali with us. We're doing this work in person and we're doing it all around the world. So we love you. We appreciate you. Have a
Yes.
fantastic Wednesday and we'll be back. We'll be back.
Yay.
All righty.
Peace and
Bye.
blessings. Talk
Peace
to
and
you later.
blessings, my
Bye
love.
bye.
Okay. Bye bye.